Let's turn to this now. The South African National Defence Union Secretary, Advocate Piki Grif, says former Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga must be given a chance to prove herself in her role. Motshekga has been appointed Minister of Defence and Military Veterans, with UDM leader Bantu Holomisa as her deputy. Grif says the union will work with Motshekga on issues facing the South African Defence Force.
We will be fair to the minister as well, whoever is appointed in that post. I think she must be given a chance to take up her portfolio. And I think she understands that the ball is in her court now quite firmly and, to prove herself in that position. And we certainly are not going to be obstructive in that sense. We will find a way of working with the minister, and we are certainly reaching out to her office.
However, independent defense analyst Helmut Hamann says changing the defense minister now may have not been a wise decision.
I would not have changed ministers now. We've just had a failed mission in Mozambique. We have a very difficult situation in the Congo, in the DRC. To change jockeys in the middle of the race like this, our president, I think I would have asked Mr. Minister Modise to stay on a little longer as one of those ministers you can take from outside Parliament, just to have continuity for another while until things stabilize in the DRC. We know what we're doing. This way, it's very unfair on the new minister, it's unfair on the new deputies, it's unfair on the defense force.
Now, following President Cyril Ramaphosa's announcement of the new cabinet, civil society and organizations that are of civil society have outlined key priorities for the new administration: improving service delivery and fostering economic growth. Newzroom Afrika reporter Nasiphi Same filed this report.
Western Cape communities have been reeling from a surge in gang violence, gripping over 5 communities in the recent days. Senzo Mchunu, formerly overseeing water and sanitation, now faces a daunting challenge within the police ministry to quell the violence in gang-infested communities.
We would like to know what will his plan be, because what we picked up for the past 5 years, there was no real plan from SAPS. There is sophisticated equipment that they can use, and that has never been enacted. You need to clean SAPS internally. Crime intelligence in the Western Cape is an indictment on the democracy that we have. So that needs to be resolved, because crime intelligence is the one that's supposed to feed the information before things happen, and it's not happening. Is that he needs to speak to his counterpart, which is SANDAF, and get SANDAF in. Currently, the police can't handle the pressure that is happening in our communities, because they are becoming the targets as well. Have a lockdown with SANDAF in the gun-infested areas.
Meanwhile, Mamuluko Kubai's return to the Ministry of Human Settlements is met with mixed reactions. Ndifuna Ukwazi organization argues her reinstatement lacks the fresh perspective needed to address what they call the ongoing housing crisis.
It's quite very disappointed that there are certain ministers that have come back to cabinet. For instance, the Minister of Human Settlements, Mamuluko Kubai. We know that they failed in their capacity as a minister in so far as delivering housing in this country. The government in 1998 built about 235,000 houses per year. Now it's only building about 33,000. No one should be rewarded with the ministerial position after failing to address such a crisis. They must address this question of the housing backlog that we have in this country of 2.5 million. But also, we know that Minister Mamuluko Kubai has an unfinished business in the department of the white paper. A white paper that would be used to reformulate the Housing Act.
In another key appointment, Barbara Creasy assumes the Ministry of Transport, inheriting a vast portfolio covering rail, road, sea and air transport. There have been calls for Minister Creasy to hit the ground running, implement policies that drive economic growth as promised by President Ramaphosa.
The ministers should engage early by delaying an engagement, because whilst the ministers knew, the issues are not new. The issues are old. The taxi industry has been excluded from the discussions. The minister has not been involved. the past minister has not been actively involved in bringing an integration of public transport. Buses, trains, taxis, and even air and other freight rail services must be made compatible with each other. Not only is it the integration and infrastructure, it's also the expansion of the service.
For Newzroom Afrika on Channel 405, I'm Nasiphi Same in Cape Town.